Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Jason with Sin City Living. I'll try and make this really quick. I know I've been gone for a while, had a lot of things going on. Thank you very much to our patrons. You guys really helped us out during this time, but I'm back. I'm rededicating. I'm gonna make sure I try and get some content out there for you guys, including on the Patreon. So yeah, looking forward to getting you guys some more videos. Don't forget to check the links down below and email us. Email us anything you'd like to see, any strategies, any other games. Remember, we do more than just craps. Otherwise, I'm gonna get straight into today's video. Welcome back everybody, Jason here with Sin City Living. We are on video number 3 of my comparisons of 4 different strategies. Same bet, we started out 160 across, including same bet, the mid press, pressing up 1 unit, and power pressing. So now we've already done 30 rolls. Now we're going to look at 31 through 45. Again, going with the statistical likelihood of how these numbers would come out during that time period. Out of your 36 combinations of the dice, we take out the 6 7s, and we'll be going from there. I took out the money they had out there for 2 reasons. 1, I made some kind of error on my second one and had those a little bit off. And 2, I need the chips. So I've got it written down exactly what they're going to end up with in the rail after the 45 rolls, and I'll show that, but I definitely need these chips. I don't know what happened to all my black chips, but that's all I've got sitting in my stack. So, moving forward, let's take a look. So, once again, we're at that 1.5 times each thing, so just like up to 15, we're going to do 2 and 1, and then the 2.5 times, so we're going to do 2 and 3, and then again, we'll catch it up in the 46 through 60. So, the 4, rolling twice. We've got our same bet person. They're just going to get paid $49 the first time, $49 the second time. Pretty damn easy. Our mid-press player, however, this is where they take kind of a sort of a ballsy jump here. And they don't quite press it all the way up, but they come close. So 200 is going to pay them $390 minus when we're taking out the VIG. So they're actually, this time, the first time around, they're going to go up to 500. Now, the reason for this is, and there is a chance that they're going to go to 400 and then they go to 500 on the next one. But a lot of mid-press players at this point have made over $1,000 and they're ready to just start going for it. They just want to see some of these big payouts. And they want to find something that's nice and easy to pay. Nice, easy, and easy to look at. A lot of these superstitious players, they want their bets to look good as well. So they don't like to have a stack of multiple colors. So they're going to go up to 500. The second time it hits, they're just going to go to 1,000. They're going to go back to the typical just doubling up their bet on the 4 and 10, because you're at 500, you double up your bet, you just pocketed $475. That $475 went to the rail, the other 500 went onto the bet. So now we get to our press 1 unit players. So the first time around, of course, they go to that. And then the second time around, they're going to go right there. So the first time around, they got paid $195, so they collected $170. The second time around, they got paid $244. So they collected $119. I believe, and then press themselves up. Now the power press player here is going to throw in money. They're going to throw in a quarter because they're going to go all the way up to $1,500 the first time. Why did I do that twice? I should not have. Should have only done it once. The press 1 unit player and the mid press player. They did not go to 500. I made a mistake there. They did go to 400. They're probably going to go to 500 on the next hit. Yeah, they're going to go to 500 on the next hit. So again, it kind of goes either way. Me, I'd go to 500. Some are going to go to 400. I remember I wrote this down at some of the smaller ones to try and give you guys a better example of the simple doubling up of the bets. So apologize for that. This is why I take notes and write all this stuff down in advance. So we're going to go on to the 5. So the 5 will hit twice. Now, your same bet player, they're going to make their usual $70. And that's what's crazy. They're making $35 twice for $75. Right? But let's look at our mid-press player. So our mid-press player is going to make their bet look like 200, right? So they got paid $175. So they collected $100 the first time it hit. This player collected $70 combined. Collected $35 the first time. This player collected $100 the first time. But it's the second time it hits that gets interesting because they get paid $280. They go to $250, which means they collected $230. This player collected $35. Now our press 1 unit player, again, the first time around, goes to $150, so they collected $150. The second time around, they go to $175. Right? Now they got paid $210. So they collected $185 right there. So again, press 1 unit is pretty damn strong. Now this player, the power presser, this is what gets interesting because they get paid $1,050 the first time. They go to $1,500. Right? That means they collected $300. It's not bad. It's the second time around that gets real interesting. So $1,500 gets paid $2,100, right? They go up to $35. They collect $100. But if this hits again, it gets interesting. You guys will see that next video when we go up to the 60 rolls. It gets very, very, very interesting. So the 6. So the 6 is going to hit twice. So again, this player just collects $75, 35, 2 different times. So this player, the mid-press player, they're sitting at 210. They're going to go up to 300. They're going to collect $150 out of that. And then from 300, they're going to go up to 450, which means they collect $200, right? Because they got paid $350 and they pressed it $150. So they're up to $450 right now. Again, they collected $200. This person collected $35. This one collected $200. But it's going to get interesting when I show you guys how it all works out in the end. Our press 1 unit player, first time around, is going to go up to 210. Then the second time around, it's going to go up to 240. Press 1 unit player versus this player. Really interesting. Really interesting. Well, this player's not, at this point, it's getting pretty far left behind. But this player, you're going to be surprised when I show you what the money's like. Because you guys do remember that after 30 rolls, press 1 unit had still made more money than the mid-press player, even though the mid-press player's bets are larger, significantly larger in some areas. Now we get to the power presser. So the power presser, we've gone over this before, from 1200 it's going to go up to 2400, and then they're going to go up to 48. They are just power pressing for a reason, and we're going to show you guys why in just a minute. Right now, let's go to the 8. So the 8, this player collects 35 3 times. So they collect $105. So the first time, they're going to collect 35. This player is going to collect close to 100 because, as we've done in the past, as we've already shown, this player right here, the first time around, is going to go to... They should be way higher. They should already be at 210. That's where I made my mistakes last time around in the last video where the money didn't match. Missed a couple spots. So they'd be at 210. So the first time they're going to go to 300. The second hit, they're going to go up to 450, just like here. And then the third hit is when they're going to make it look like 600. Now during all of that, they collected, the first time they collected 150, the second time they collected 200, and the third time they collected $375. That means they collected $725 those 3 times it hit. This person collected $105. Same bet. That's why same bet players pretty much never win. They catch a 20-minute roll, they look at their money, and they just keep playing because they didn't really win all that much. So our press 1 unit player, it's going to go to, yeah, they should be at 180. I don't know where I made my mistakes, but on the last video, but I apologize. They should be starting out at 180. So they're going to go to 210, then they're going to go to 240, then they're going to go to 270. So pressing 1 unit, they're going to collect, as they put into their rails, despite their presses, they're going to collect $180, $215, and $250. So they're collecting $600. They're collecting over $600 in those 3 hits, and they've just been pressing it 1 unit at a time. Now the power presser. As we already know, the first time they go to 2400. The second hit, they go to 4800. Now, High probability if you're playing on a $25 table, your max bet is probably going to be 5,000. Could be lower. We could have hit table max quite a bit ago for this player, and they could already be just collecting a few thousand every single time. But we're going to say 5,000. So the third time it hits, they're going to press themselves up to 6,000, which would be the table max. On a $5,000 max bet, your 6 and 8 can go to 6,000. You're looking at proper bets. 5,000 would be your max on the other numbers. 6,000 would be the max on the 6, which means that when this hit, they collected $4,400. $4,400. This player collected 35. This player collected $4,400. It's a pretty decent chunk of change. So when we go to the 9, same bet, both times. Mid-press player, however, is going to go to 200. And then they're going to go to 250. So at this point, their bet is going to look like 250 after the 2 hits. Our press 1 unit player is, of course, going to look like 175 afterwards. Now our power press player, first time it hits, is going to have their bet look like 3,000. I'm sorry. 1,500. It's going to look like 1,500. And then the second time, it's going to look like 3,500. 3,500. Yep. Handwriting sucks. It's going to look like 3,500. Obviously, clearly, their next time it hits, they're going to table max. That's pretty obvious. So same bet, same bet. This player goes from 200 to 400, and then instead of pressing it up from 400 to 800, this is where they go to 500. This is where they go to something quick, easy, and it makes sense. I kind of jumped the gun over here and wanted to do that a little bit early. What that also means is at this point they collect $680 after the vig, so they collected almost $700 right there. Our press 1 unit player, as we already know, both times it hits, just presses up $25 every single time. The power presser throws in money to go to 1,500. Then from 1,500, they go to 4,000. I made a mistake over here. They're going to 1,500, not 1,000. After 45 rolls without a 7, based on the the various statistical likelihoods of numbers hitting, this is what their totals are at this point. So our player betting same bet. Now 45 rolls without a 7, you're probably pushing an hour at this point. The game has slowed way down. Just with these presses, these bets, the players also suddenly start wanting to bet all kinds of stuff in there. Also, 45 minutes without a 7, we've probably hit at least one side bet, depending on what side bets you may have on the table. That slows your game down as well. We're definitely not looking at a roll a minute. After all, the world record longest roll was 3.5 or 4.5 hours, and it was only 150 rolls of the dice. So we were looking at somewhere right around 3 minutes a roll, roughly. And that's what happens when these bets get high enough, you have enough players joining in, and enough weird action starts to slow your game down. So your same bet player, how much money does your same bet player have in front of him? Same bet player will have $1,386. They will have $1,386. What about our player doing the mid press? Well, this gets interesting. Player doing the mid press is going to have 3,000. $955. $3,955. That's not bad. Now our player is pressing 1 unit at a time. That looks so conservative in comparison to our mid presser and our power presser. After all, I don't know why that's off. I think I must have been blending some of these together on accident. In fact, I know I have, because these should not look the way they do. Our mid-press player should be at 600 end of it. On the 8, and on the 6 should be at the 450. Okay. Something about the 8, I keep messing that up. I don't know how. This player seems to have such, the mid-press player seems to have such bigger bets. 450 here versus 180. Should be 150. Sorry guys. Should be 150. 450 versus 180. 600 versus, or 150. 600 versus 180. Like they're being so aggressive and they're getting paid so much more than the other person. After all, when this hit over here at 450, they got paid a purple chip. Now I got used right here, but they got paid a purple chip. This player is still just getting paid a couple of blacks. So the mid-press player, after 45 rolls without a 7, has $3,955 total in front of them. You know what the press money inner player has after 45 rolls without a 7? On the statistical likelihoods, when I do the video just showing awesome rolls, I'll show you why it's actually not a strong strategy. They have $3,955. They have the same amount of money. The exact same amount of money. Now what does the power presser have? Now, the power presser will have $7,142. $7,142 because they finally hit table max somewhere. Thank you everybody for watching. I apologize for little mistakes. I have difficulty keeping track of all this stuff when I'm doing them. That's why I like to do one strategy at a time. And stay tuned for the next video, which we will push this out to 60 rolls without a 7 to show you how much money some of them can make. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye now.